in 2022, we covered how inflation caused a lot of pain for a lot of people, but there was one group of people who not too sad about the fact that they also had a lot of financial pain. Let's go ahead and put this up on the screen. The world's billionaires lost $1.4 trillion in 2022. Leave this up on the screen. Let me read a few of the details here. The headline from Bloomberg says how Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, and the world's 500 richest billionaires lost $1.4 trillion in a year. Ultra wealthy tech founders led a wipeout in fortunes that spanned the globe, though secretive families and pro sports owners emerged relatively unscathed. I want to read just a little bit of this article here. They say in Bloomberg, it's not just the money that was lost, though it was staggering, almost 1.4 trillion wiped from those fortunes. Plenty of the pain, it turns out, was self-inflicted. The alleged fraud by one-time crypto wonderkin Sam Bankman-Fried, the devastating war waged by Russia on Ukraine that spurred crippling sanctions on its business titans, and of course the antics of Elon Musk, the new owner of Twitter, who's worth $138 billion less than he was just a year ago. Combined with the backdrop of widespread inflation and aggressive central bank tightening, the year was a dramatic come down for a group of billionaires whose fortunes swelled to unfathomable heights in the COVID era of easy money. In most cases, the bigger the rise, the more dramatic the fall. Musk, Bezos, CZ, and Mark Zuckerberg alone saw some 392 billion erased from their cumulative net worth. And Saagar, this is kind of the flip side of the Fed tightening and hiking interest rates dynamic, because it is true that in the era of zero interest rates, you've had this tremendous financialization of the economy. You've had money so cheap and easy that you had a lot of dramatic fortunes wildly inflated. And so that part, it's not bad that you have a coming down to earth of parts of the economy. It's just the pain of working class people and the fact that this has been sort of explicitly engineered to crush wages and spike unemployment. That's the part of the Fed policy that has been very objectionable.
That's the hard part, right? Which is that there really is no way to do both when you're only using the Federal Reserve. I also do want to underscore, I think it is interesting that China also was a huge part of this story. The Chinese economic lockdowns that happened have been devastating for the Chinese billionaire class. So this isn't just America. This is worldwide. The Russian oligarchs, of course, got nuked by US and Western sanctions, but the Chinese had a self-inflicted financial bomb that they set off on their economy with the COVID zero. On top of, you have the central bank tightening. So it's global. This is a complete global meltdown, really, of what's happening. And look, I mean, all of these people will sleep just fine at night. At a certain point, is there any real difference in lifestyle between 350 billion and 100 billion? So I'm not going to get too upset for Jeff Bezos, for Elon Musk. I do think it more represents, though, that there are millions of people who work for these individuals who are now suffering as a result. And it is more of a reflection on the aggregate of the pain that so many people have suffered. And, look, I can't be the only one 2 years later where, inflation may not be in the headlines anymore, but it's not like grocery prices have fallen. They've basically just stayed the same. Actually, here where I am in Mexico, I was looking at gas price here. It's like $1.40 a liter. I mean, that's a lot of money. And when you consider what GDP per capita is, I'm like, wow, people, I guess they call it petrol, but petrol is really gouging, working people worldwide. So we should consider just how much of the pain, which is reflected in the top line figure of their net worth, is also dispersed on everybody else. So it's a tough one. It's one of those where, given the playbook that central policymakers use at the banking level, this is really the only way to try and engineer it, when really there should be a way to make sure that they don't do as well, and then others actually get to do even better.
Yeah, well, it's just like we've been saying for quite a while. I mean, the Fed policy of zero interest rates, or effectively negative interest rates, for years and years, that created a lot of tremendous and basically fake wealth,
right,
for the very, very tippy top. Meanwhile, it's not like working class people benefited from that era. But when you pop the balloon and you send the thing crashing back down, yeah, you're going to claw back some of those insane fortunes that were claimed by that fake easy money. but you're also going to hurt on the way down a lot of working class people. And that's, that's exactly the story that we see playing out right now. So you have the accumulation of Fed sins over a number of years, which basically, backstop the fortunes of the richest among us. And then you also have a total government failure to be able to pass economic policy independent of the Fed and use a toolkit that would be better tailored and more suitable for these strange economic circumstances that we ultimately find us in. And that's sort of the story of the economy right now. But listen, I think it is in and of itself a fundamental good for the economy to have that some of that easy money that was floating zombie companies and creating fake fortunes and all of this stuff. I think it's good to have that bubble ultimately pierced. It just is incredibly painful that, the policy that's been pursued is one that is going to hurt working class people so much more than, Elon Musk is not going to hurt because he lost $200 billion or whatever he ultimately lost. He's going to be just fine, even so. So it's a complicated landscape. I guess that's what I'll say. Hey guys, ready or not, 2024 is fully upon us now. And Saagar and I have been brainstorming ways that we can really up our game for this critical election.
Yeah, we rely on our premium subs to expand our coverage, to add staff, to upgrade the studio. We just want to give you the best independent coverage of this election, which is possible. So if you can help us out, become a premium subscriber today, breakingpoints.com, or the link is down here in the description video. It really means the world to us. And if you like what we're all about, this is the best possible way to keep us 100% independent, working only for you.